On one regular afternoon, while discussing childhood memories with a friend, the topic eventually came to the Latvian version of Facebook. We discussed our time spent on it at the mature age of 8 to 9 and the games we used to play together from time to time. However, when it came to the question of which one was our favorite, to the point of recalling many memories of it till this day, the first moment of agreement up till this point came in one word. So, what is it? Well, dear viewer, prepare to get introduced to the hidden gem that was shut down for 7 years, only to get revived very recently and inspire me to make this video. The one and only miscrits. Before we dive into the game itself, I think it would make sense if we did a little catch-up with how we got to this point first. I mean, not every game lives for 6 years, only to get shut down for good, yet make a return after 7 years of complete silence. Sorry, ran ahead a bit there too fast, so let's just start from the beginning. Despite what I said in the intro about me and my friend playing it on our country's Facebook ripoff in 2013, something like that, the first ever release of miscrits was on 2011 on Facebook itself. Being made by Broken Pulp Studios, this initially seeming Pokemon ripoff with simple cartoon graphics started to slowly catch the attention of many unassuming Facebook users, which usually just enjoyed a quick game of... yes, Slotomania slot machines, everyone's favorite Facebook game, like, right guys, right? After people started to give it some time, it turned out that there truly was something special about this never before seen miscrits thingy. I mean, they were playing Slotomania slot machines before that, so the bar pretty much didn't exist, featuring the nostalgic element of having Facebook friends as a gameplay mechanic, a unique cast of creatures by the name of miscrits that would get bigger and bigger with more designs, variants, rarities, and much more that would keep the grind fun as the game would go on. Battling 2 had their own special mechanics, like not being allowed to use more than 4 miscrits at a time, and each miscrit being able to use that's right, every move they've ever learned. So, with all of this being findable in a 2011 browser game on Facebook, people obviously started going crazy for it, even to the point of creating miscritubers like with any semi-popular game. Shout out to JH7, pretty much the miscrits version of Chugga Conroy that I watched all the time, giving consistent updates, new miscrits, expansions to the map, and even going to the point of overhauling the game's graphics. Where would the game go from there? Well, what if they went and pulled up what's considered the pro gamer move, which pretty much was the miscrit version of making 2 regions playable in GSC. Not even a full year later, on November 30th, 2011, the public was graced with the release of miscrits Volcano Island. A whole new map to explore, whole new cast of miscrits to capture and battle, while having the first part of miscrits now being redubbed to miscrits Sunfall Kingdom. Let me tell ya, when Lil Retro found out about the existence of Volcano Island, despite at the time it already being out for 3 years, that little addict went apeshit and did everything in his power to get on his dad's Facebook account. Since Drogen.lv had a fork of the game, it didn't have full functionality, so multiplayer, including friend interaction, the battle arena, and access to Volcano Island was impossible. At that point, it either was me continuing to play on an outdated version with every possible task already done, or annoy the shit out of my father. Yeah, goddamn right I chose option 2. and my smug little ass enjoyed the hell out of it. Now, the only drawback was that you couldn't use your miscrits that you had for so long in Sunfall Kingdom, instead needing to get the new ones you could find in Volcano Island. After being sad for like 5 minutes max, the thought of having even more reasons to play it just made me crack a smile Grinch style. Playing, I mean no-lifing the game till the point of getting sick of it, it started to slowly seem that I would finally have my fill. And after all this time, move on to other games. You already know it's Pokemon. Though, right after as I was walking out the door, the mobile release of Miscrits on March 4th, 2015 was right there to pull me back in. Even better, or worse depending on how you look at it, all of my friends jumped in on the fun, creating new accounts and starting fresh, a new daily activity formed of battling and flexing on each other, seeing who can get the coolest miscrits, discussing the new updates and additions to the games. Everything was perfect. Like, each of us were pretty much maxed the fuck out with the best stuff that us feeble free-to-plays were able to get our hands on. What could possibly go wrong? Huh, well, I guess that could happen. Well, we had to learn how true heartbreak felt someday. It just hurt to learn that Miscrits was the one to teach us that lesson. Now, despite the popular belief that Broken Bulb Studios went bankrupt at the time, the true reason for the game's closure was stated by the company's former founder, which mostly explained that the game just got too expensive to host, while dipping in revenue too much and not being able to justify further upkeep. A tale as old as time for any live service game, yet never gets easier to bear. Until very recently. Like I hinted at in the intro, in 2024, the talks of Miscrits returning suddenly sprouted up. After some time, the first playable versions of the game that smelled, looked, felt, and felt like nostalgia incarnate for me became available, prompting me to start work on this video the second I learned that, despite it being a big shift from my usual content. However, there's a more important question you may be asking instead. What even prompted its resurrection in the first place? Like with any hyper-specific niche game, there's always that one superfan that strives to do anything for that game and, of course, is very dedicated. And like the context clues might suggest, Miscrits was no different. Finding and getting access to the old files of the game, a developer by the name of GK started reverse engineering and rebuilding the game, since besides the main menu and settings, the original game was unplayable after the shutdown. Even going to the point of pulling off the usually impossible, they somehow got their hands on the game's IP. In result, all concern of copyright and stress of being ordered to take it down being removed. Yeah, now there's genuinely something that you don't see every day. So all that was left was to get the fully first playable version made, make a Discord server, and bring it back to the public. Now of course, the game is still being worked on to bring back all the content, and possibly start to add their own after a certain point, so it's not at the state the game was before shutdown. But the child in me couldn't give a lesser fuck. So now that you have finally caught up with everything important, how about we actually give the game a try? The current version that's available is the 0.74 release, or editor just edit what's the current one, cause that shit outdated, release at the time of recording, so if you decide to play yourself, some stuff may differ. I will play the Miscrit release of Sunfall Kingdom, because Volcano Island still isn't added yet, womp womp, alongside my brother, to battle with the best teams we build by the end and try to obtain as many Miscrits as possible, while playing for the first time in, like, 8 years? Wait, 2017 was 8 years ago? Oh well, get your munchies if you haven't yet, boot up Miscrits if you want to play along, and let's begin before I crash out about the passage of time. Finally booting up the game and creating an account, the day I thought would never come is actually here. Immediately running through the hub world and seeing all the sights while the memories flush back, I see my house where all of your miscrits in storage are visible. The place where me and my friends competed for the coolest breeding results, the still remaining remnants of Facebook game energy systems for healing, the battle arena to compete for ranks, but most importantly, the party screen and miscrit interface too. After needing to take a shit from all the excitement and nostalgia flushing over me, true story, I think it would make sense to explain a bit more about the way you train and use miscrits while we're here. Upon opening the miscrit summary screen, you get introduced to the following features. Train and Evolve now at the top, the abilities it currently knows, with the option of enchanting them for buffs, the miscrit stats for all 6 categories, access to its Miscripedia page, aka the miscrit Pokédex, the element of the miscrit, and finally, the hardest one to spot out of them all, the rank in the lower right corner of the miscrit's icon. But now that you see them, what does each of them actually do? Starting with training, every miscrit shares the same amount of necessary experience to level up. On top of that, every miscrit gains a new ability after 3 levels and evolves every 10 until the level cap of 35. While leveling up and learning new moves, you have the option of enchanting each move once for better buffs, more power, special effects, or other similar or niche upgrades to the moves. Though, what use would that be if the miscrit turns out to have poor stats? Having a similar formula to its inspiration, first, hit points aka HP, which determine the amount of health. Second, speed, used to determine who goes first. No shit. Third and fourth are physical and elemental attacks respectively, which do the same as their defense counterparts. After reaching the max level, the stats you'll have at that point will be the max. However, using relics or the game's premium currency, you can squeeze out just a bit more from your favorite miscrits. Though, there's one more element that affects your stat growth. Based on the rating that your miscrit has, the better or weaker stats it will have. For example, C+ is the complete neutral middle ground, with no stats being better or worse. Yet, for each higher tier, a stat per tier will increase, or drop, or a lower rating. In result, if you had a miscrit at S+, all your stats would be increased. Or on the opposite, if it was F-, every stat would be worse than regular. As for the last thing I want to cover before the actual playing begins, the remaining important stuff remains in the Miscripedia. Upon clicking on a miscrit in it, you can see its name, usual stat distribution, all abilities it can learn up till level 30, rarity and description, all stages that you see after evolving it, and finally the miscrit's typing too. Unlike the 18, or 19 if you include stellar types in Pokemon, miscrit features only a cast of 6: water, fire, nature, wind, earth and lightning, each being weak and strong against one type. However, there also exist miscrits with dual typings, having double the weaknesses and strength in result, though of course are rarer than others. But besides other small things like renaming and having space for only 100 miscrits until needing to purchase more room, we're finally done with all the nerdy things underneath the surface. Well, what else other than to finally see how the game actually plays? Upon launching the game and searching around the place, ooh, piece of candy, I get blasted again and again with not being able to do stuff, either due to me not defeating something by the name of Nature Elemental yet, probably not anything important, or the fact that my player rank is too low, which apparently I have. But hey, turns out it also acts as an upgrade tree, besides restricting where the player can go to. Learning that the rank increases the more you obtain miscrits, for now I search around to find new miscrits, while leveling up my own and completing some quests. Turns out that even a Facebook game back in 2011 had Pokemon Beat with level scaling. Poor old indie company Game Freak. Going deeper in the forest, there seemed to be a wizard that was blocking my path. He seemingly was talking about his and some group's big plans of taking back all the magic so that only humans have it, and mentioned some dude by the name of Apollo Nox.
Who?
I wonder what that means. Either way, I didn't really hear him over all his petty bitchiness. Time to battle! Huh, looks like Miscrit had Legends Arceus beat by 11 years. I mean, it's not like he'll do any... I'll take back what I said. Looks like the game was a bit harder and grindier than I remember. After some grinding, one more loss, then more grinding later, I stumbled upon one of the variant Miscrits that you can find. In this case, a Dark Cup Sprout. Besides being a rarer Miscrit than the common regular, light, dark, foil, blighted and other variants that are not added yet are overall better with increased stats and better abilities, so not a bad surprise. What's bad instead though is the fact that there's apparently 1,600 search limit per day and each area has a daily rotation for what's findable, so progression might get a bit tougher later on. Spoiler, it actually didn't, for some reason it bugged out for me, so yay, cool. So yeah, for now let's push that to the back like all of my responsibilities as an adult, use some of the juicy premium platinum currency to get our first evolutions, and also get better moves and unlock relic slots for later. With a much stronger team and better strategy, I roll up to the battle and try again. Using the two weaker Miscrits to weaken and debuff him, I start doing good damage until getting down to my last Miscrit. I was almost there, but still lost by an inch. Healing up, upgrading a bit more, and trying again with a tactic of debuffing and chipping until the last Miscrit, I barely nudge out the win and defeat the Magicite Novice with the 4th attempt. Since I still can't search anymore until tomorrow, I decided to go back to the main hub and see what's now available to me with the player rank 11 that I got after the evolutions. Still needing all Miscrits to be at least level 10 to enter the arena, I instead got 4 platinum for doing the task of finding a B rank Flurfy. Cool, awesome, yay. Browse the relic catalog and encounter one more of those Magicite goons after seeing all that's available. The final thing I discovered last moment is a mini campaign on the side, which gives some rewards after beating 10 enemies. Yet, you only can do 5 battles per day. Oh well. I guess all that's left for me now is to wait until tomorrow. Which is just a few seconds for you lucky bastards, goddammit. At least I got a free daily spin out of it. Now that I finally got access to the new area, I go on a spree of finding, catching and evolving new Miscrits for the sake of ranking up. While I was doing some script stuff, my bro taught me about getting more XP the less Miscrits you have in the team. If he wouldn't have told me that, the behind the scenes grinding would be more painful. Let's thank Retro's brother in the comments please. With a team of level 10 Miscrits now prepped, I decided to try out the arena before progressing further and see what it offers. After a few battles of cheesing bugs, cutting it close, learning that you get punished if you switch too much, and having cooldown on all moves, I end the test run with a 5 win streak and getting 10 platinum. There are more rewards the more you win, but I doubt that I will get 35 wins in less than 2 days to get all the gifts. The 1,600 encounter limit makes more sense now. Instead, upon returning to the grind, I ran into another Magicite member, who just cuts the shit and wants to battle. Using just one Miscrit to scout out her power level and save on Virtue, I just realized it's just time for more grinding. After hefty brain-melting amounts of grinding, while stumbling upon some rare finds, I grinded the now revamped team all to level 20. Only to see that I overdid it. A bit with an easy actual first try. Had to get a break at some point. To celebrate the win, and definitely not because I forgot to do it before, I went to the devs buy me a coffee page to support the team while getting some stuff out of it as a result. Let me just... there, yeah, much better. Got some new miscrits and evolutions too, gotta keep that player rank grind up. Finally moving onwards and finding even more miscrits, we stumble upon another Magicite member, our original, and repeat the cycle of battling them, losing, training, finding a rare miscrit, battling again, and winning. While finishing up the daily quests, I checked out the now available training grounds and breeding mechanic spots, only to see that I can't train miscrits with levels above 25, and me needing to use up 3 miscrits of the same rarity to get one new one respectively. Nothing special, but at least I remembered about the boss near the base and beat it, if I actually would have beaten the cheating scum that he is. Self-buffing and healing moves? Get that shit out of here. Shuffling away to explore the new forest area instead with not much expectations, the question of what the hell is a nature elemental got answered quite bluntly. Seeing that I'm probably cooked and have no other places to explore, you probably know what comes next. Yep, finding some more new miscrits and evolving my team. Aren't you a smart fella? Unlike this big ol' fart smeller. Turns out it pays to be pay-to-win scum, who could have guessed? But now that the first elemental was defeated, at least the use case of this shrine thing was explained. Looks like not only we need to figure out what the deal with those Magicite goons is, but see what happens once we complete this shrine with all of the elementals getting defeated. So with that newfound knowledge and newly upgraded busted team, I go back and now cheat the cheating Magicite harder than Dream did, only to unlock the next spot, the mansion, which has the same shtick as before. Find new miscrits, battle a boss, ×2, find even more miscrits, and repeat. To be fair, the game at its core was and still is a game that was built for Facebook, so the gameplay loop being this simple makes sense. But as someone that loves to watch something while grinding a game on the side that even has the beloved Pokemon-like gameplay structure in it on top, it kinda feels like this game was made for me. So even if the next few steps are just go to the next area, find even more miscrits, go up in player rank for extra perks, and train existing or new miscrits to optimally beat the upcoming boss and or elemental that actually seem to be creations of Magicites lore drop, I'm in it for the ride. I'll probably even grind a few hours to see all the miscrits and their evolutions way after the video, so watch until the end for that. Definitely not last minute add-on as a write-off for many wasted hours if you're just as curious as me. But for now, I can assure you that the next location will be more unique. Or much more bearable than my shitty puns as a minimum. Moving on to what seems to be the furthest available location at the time of recording, I dig in to find some more interesting miscrits and some more after the boss. Yet, after some quick pacing around and just wanting to move on, the next Magicite boss was already in front of me. No worries, I'll just destroy them with my disgustingly good miscrit, I thought. One try later, I try a new team comp. Second attempt, just try again. Third time, fourth time, yeah, how about some relic splurging instead? Closer, but not quite enough. Though, after a handful of some more failed attempts, a strike of brilliance hits my noggin, an intriguing idea shimmers in my skull, the most immaculate concept shakes my... yeah, I just stalled it with a potion. Jarvis initiates stalling in the children's game. If money don't got it, then the devil child from the GSC meta sure got it. Though the sudden spike in difficulty had me a bit concerned about the upcoming battles, so I decided to try something I didn't mention till this point. In every main area, somewhere on the map you can find a special spot which has special dialogue that also needs you to have a specific level to make it searchable. As for the forest, this unique flower needs you to be at least on player rank 100 to search miscrits. What can be found here? Well, after many hours of searching, a legendary puke bug. An hour or two of grinding later, with extra stat boosting, the team now looks much more stacked. With that done, I could also now try talking with the NPC next to the arena, where you get rewards based on the win count. But with the side tangents now done, was there an actual reason for my early pants pissing? No, not at all. Just pulled out the smelliest, foulest cheese I could, with decreasing their accuracy right at the start, then just battling until getting lucky with the misses on the second attempt. Well, since we're this close to the end already, and the battle was kind of anticlimactic, why not leave all the new miscrit hunting for later and just see what's in store here at the end. Passing the massive bones and destroyed environment, at the end of the road lies the third big bad, the Wind Elemental, aka the final boss at the time of recording. Swapping around the team for the best matchup possible, I go in as prepared as I can be. Doing the stinky, that is the accuracy decreasing once again, I start to celebrate early, only to see that it has an ability that cancels it out. Spamming it and doing the same with the pay to win miscrit until both faint, the elemental by that point gets worn down quite a bit. Moving on to the electric slop piggy, I just spam out super effective damage, which eventually leads me down to the final miscrit. Just needing to land a few final blows, I wiggle it down to one more hit for me to win, but of course suddenly it lands all its hits and defeats me with 13 HP left. Fun. Second attempt also fails due to it setting up early. Third attempt, I give up early due to unlucky RNG. But then, along comes the fourth attempt, and goes right past us too. I'm sure we've got the winning combo here, so let me just be stubborn for a second. Quitting the next one due to a turn 1 buff, on attempt 6 I spam stat drops, get lucky with a few misses, do good damage and oh, just like that. I guess the power of locking in the gamer pose actually has its perks. With the Wind Elemental now being defeated, we have done all the mainline content that's currently available, and have filled 3 of the 6 altars at the main hub. Apollo Nox and whatever he's still doing remains to be answered, but I have a better suggestion as the finale. Like I mentioned in the first half of the video, all this time while I was playing miscrits, my brother played alongside me in his own playthrough. So, let's challenge him to a duel after doing the final grind for some miscrits, like I also promised. No, I don't eat a dessert before the main dish, thank you. Starting with all the new spots I unlocked after winning in Sunfall Shores, I catch most of what I didn't already have. After getting an amount that feels enough, I take some of my favorites and train them to see their evolutions, while also finding a legendary and evolving it too. Few hours later, I move on to the mansion and repeat the cycle. After that, I check the mountains again too, move on to some remaining miscrits that I found in the forest. Then finish off with evolving some I already had in storage and other randoms. With the multi-day grind of catching, training and evolving multiple miscrits now done, the storage not only looks quite juicy, but has also resulted in a Miscripedia with plenty of filled out entries. Though, it feels like there's still something missing. Oh, yeah, right. Alright, so, final day, finally battling him. This is the team I'm going with. Here we go, of course. Okay, so his team, after all these hours. Of course, he switches. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's decrease his accuracy once again. Yep, you know, good old cheese. Complete confusion. No surprise he misses. Let's buff ourselves quickly. I swear to God, if all of this build-up was just for me to beat him with one single legendary miscrit, that would be crazy. Okay, let's just switch out. Okay, no surprise, switch again, removing the weakness. Random bullshit go. And of course, my version of bullshit misses. Now this should take him out. Ready? Yep, okay. First KO, unfortunately, but nonetheless, even more minus accuracy. Of course, he didn't miss that one. Okay, yep, leaving his best one for last. And of course, he hits that. Okay, of course. 4 hits to take him out. Yep, okay, there we go. Perfect. And now you're gone. And just to show off, I mean, come on, we made it this far. Now to show off. Boom. Insane defenses, but he probably doesn't know that it's a one-time use. Just like that. GG's. Yeah, okay. Phew. Now, that's what I call a finisher for a game I thought I would never play again. With 3 of the 6 elementals defeated, all available areas explored, and vast amounts of miscrits discovered, I'm sure younger, miscrit-addicted me would be proud of me. And older me would be probably disappointed to no bitches energy, but who cares about that old geezer. Anywho, I appreciate you watching till the end and allowing to justify me revisiting the little nostalgia-fueled game that came from the now AI slop-infested site. The main takeaway I also want to leave you with is this: go to the miscrit server and give the game a try yourself. Now sure, it may have some outdated or other types of aspects that don't really match up with today's standards, but maybe, just maybe, you'll start to like it for its charm and simplicity, eventually leading to finding the same magic that caught mine and my friends' attention till its very end initially. So besides me recommending the game and waiting for the full release, to which we'll be able to transfer our saves to, that's it for today. Thank you so much, patrons and members, for making a video like this possible. Besides following me on Twitter so I can fit in with the cool kids, stay tuned for more. See ya!